ship and lost. About midweek last week, and it's kind of an odd story in these times and age, and it takes place about 13 nautical miles off the coast of Tortuga, a small uninhabited country off the coast of Venezuela. It's owned by Venezuela, and the Venezuelan warship went out to intercept a German cruise ship. Now remember, this isn't World War II, so it went out to intercept a German cruise ship called the Resolute, and the name of the Venezuelan warship was the Nagata. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And it went out and started to intercept, saying that the Resolute needed to follow the warship back to a Venezuelan port. And while the cruise ship captain and there was no passengers on board at the time, no one's sailing right now other than the cruise ships, it immediately got on the phone to the head office saying, what's going on? What should we do? And apparently the warship started firing warning shots at the cruise ship. And then, after getting no response from the cruise ship there, decided it was going to start ramming. And this is not unusual. Many naval vessels, you'll see Russian and U.S. playing chicken with each other out there with destroyers bumping into each other like this. It's not unknown. However, the warship, which is about 240 some feet long, and the cruise ship, which is about 400 and some feet long, the cruise ship was sailing like this, and the warship comes in like this and starts trying to ram the front, trying to angle it towards the port in Venezuela. Now, there's one thing that the warship didn't quite take into account, and that's that the Resolute is one of those expedition cruise ships that are built to withstand colliding with icebergs. They have triple reinforced hulls, reinforced steel hulls. They are made to withstand the worst things out there that Mother Nature can throw at it, including icebergs and rocks and things. So a warship that's built for speed and maneuverability and is smaller is not quite up to standard. So after ramming the cruise ship a couple times, the warship started to realize it was taking on water. And the cruise ship was barely damaged at all. The paint was scraped, it had a little dent, but nothing to stop it from continuing on its way. It was still completely seaworthy. In fact, the warship, the Venezuelan warship, started taking on so much water that it eventually sunk. Now, as all this is happening, apparently the crew of the Resolute offered assistance and was never answered by the Venezuelan warship. They put in a call, and out came from the Maritime Rescue Coordination Center, which is an unbiased rescue sea operation around the world. They actually sent a ship out, and they started helping the passengers from Venezuela and got the crew back to Venezuela, and they say they released the Resolute to continue on its way, and of course it did not head to Venezuela. It continued out of there as fast as it possibly could. Now we have the president of Venezuela coming out that's saying that they were the aggressors. The cruise ship, the Resolute, was the aggressors, and it was an act of cowardism for not rescuing the crew members, which the Resolute say they tried, but nobody was answering them until the other ship got there and released them and continued to rescue. They also say that they were doing an act of terrorism and basically attacked the warship. Now here's some being in their territorial waters, and so it was all their fault. Now, there's a few problems that arise from that, from the actual facts. The actual facts, even as stated by the rescue boat that was out there, is that it was over 13 nautical miles away from the land, and territorial waters for Venezuela go out 12 miles. So they were not within any territorial waters whatsoever. And so that's a problem right there. And also the other facts of how can an unarmed cruise ship with no weapons of any kind be the aggressor and piracy against an armed warship?
Yep, true that. Now, the past month or so, there's been military exercises out in the mid-Atlantic between Africa and South America. And there's military exercises or whatever they're up to out in the Pacific as well. And what I've noticed is, because I'd check on them like daily, they would mess with passenger vessels only, whether it be cruise ships or any kind of passenger vessel. All the cargo and oil tankers and everything else could go through the area where they're doing whatever. Exactly what ships, I do not know, but I do know that several countries are involved, including Canada. Of course, the U.S. is always involved in everything. But yeah, live marine traffic, you can go there right now and see them out there. They're the unspecified ships, the gray ones. Also air traffic, you can see what's going on there, and you will notice that we're still getting shipments in from China and all over the world. We are probably the most busiest on air traffic out of the world, except for China and a few places. But all the shipping has been going to South America from China, so they didn't skip a beat. They didn't lose no money on no tariff or anything. They just cut new deals, you know. So the flow of traffic in marine traffic is mostly going to, you know, South America, Australia, other places, although we are still getting plenty of shipments. We're also shipping out a lot of oil from the Gulf and so on. But yeah, I didn't know about this ordeal. I've been waiting to hear something, you know, from a passenger vessel about, you know, the warships out there in the Atlantic. So this was basically a confirmation that they are messing with passenger vessels and cruise ships. The militaries are. So you can go to live marine traffic. There's several websites for that, or flight traffic, and see what's up. Whenever something's going on, those are a couple of the places that I check, along with many other places, just see what's going on behind the scenes. So, alright, there you have it. Today is 4:14 still for another half hour. This was April 5th. This guy's channel is... I accidentally came across this channel, so I'll just leave a link below if you want the original video. Alright?